and gentlemen, to a Premier League presentation, bringing you guys this game here, Game 2 of a best-of-3 series, Round 1 of the Premier League Super Cup. We are seeing here Mouz Sports versus Virtus Pro. First game had some issues, disconnects, pauses, what have you, but now we are finally getting on into Game 2, and hopefully we'll be able to alleviate all those issues. Again, we are experiencing delays based on Mouz Sports just arriving at their team house from Valencia, but now we are underway, good to go, and hopefully we'll stay that way. We'll see some more action. Last game, not much to talk about. Virtus Pro just played a really solid style and played aggressively when they had the opportunity to do so. So nicely done by them, but now we see a bit of a different draft coming on out. First off, we see the Chen and the Wisp being banned on out. The Batrian and Lone Druid also taken off the board, so that leaves it open for Nature's Prophet first pick from Mouz Sports for Koikova, and then Outworld Devourer and Lifestealer have been snatched up by Virtus Pro. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in to the Premier League Season 5, and that's it for my spiel. I'm Blaze. Here's Triumph Man. What's going on?
You know, I kind of want to see Mouz Sports do a Fnatic and just say, you know what? The best way to deal with Outworld Devourer is to kill him like 10 times in 10 minutes. Just completely and utterly thrash him into the ground. But that is dependent on Virtus Pro's pickups coming into the supports. Because, of course, that particular game where we saw heavy, I mean ridiculously heavy aggression against the OD with a dual mid, it came to the fact that the supports that they had were unable to rotate to effectively defend him. As it looks like Mouz Sports, their internet is not as stable as they claim because that's the banner. That's pink.
That is Synderen, unfortunately.
Alright, so yeah.
Internet's
GG.
hard.
No re.
I don't even know. That's rough, obviously. In this circumstance, they'll be able to reserve time for a little bit, but all in all, if they get a random pick, I don't even know how the remake's going to proceed. It's a harsh situation.
Do we remake? Because, I mean, if their net is still dying...
Yeah, that's obviously the administrator's call, so we'll see. But for right now, in this circumstance, seeing Nature's Prophet change hands as well as the Lifestealer, okay, Synderen's back in it. He's drafting up the Bane. But seeing that switch up, how do you think the initiation style of each team is going to play? Personally, I think Koikova's Prophet is a lot more active on the map than KSI's. KSI is all about denying the supports obtaining experience through the method of Treants blocking off the pulls, whereas Koikova, he sometimes goes into the jungle himself to get some farm. Sometimes he just makes sure that the creep wave is blocked off by wards, and then once he gets a little bit of experience, he's able to teleport over to other lanes and use his mana that way so that he can add into the mid and top lane situation. How do you feel the different teams will handle the heroes swapped off as far as which side respectively?
I think we'll see... Well, to be honest, I think we'll see Mouz Sports get very active as soon as they can with the Nature's Prophet because, you know, Mouz Sports, they tend to fall on, you know, it's a tried and true strategy. In black, we trust. They're going to try and put as much pressure on. They say, all right, OD, you win the mid lane. You win, that's fine. You have that lane. You enjoy it. You cherish it. We're going to win the safe lane. We're going to win the hard lane eventually as well. We're going to go over there and knock your towers down over there as well and win that. And basically just buy time for black to get fat, to get really fat. And you can see that Virtus Pro, they know that's going to happen. They know that's exactly what Mouz Sports want to do. So we've got Cancer Lancer banned out and the Anti-Mage, probably two of the harder carries in the game. The question only remains, will we see, what carry will they actually pick up? Will it be? Well, it could be. I suppose it could be an Alchemist. Of course, Basher on an Alchemist is incredibly frustrating for Lifestealer because it goes right through that rage, can shut him down very quickly if he gets up that Abyssal Blade. And the other choice is obviously Gyrocopter, also a very common hero for black to play as well. So I think we've got two solid picks there. I think we'll probably see Mouz Sports grab either one of them in the next the next chance they have to pick because they won't want to leave it to that leave that final banning phase to come through, or even a chance. Because I mean, if they wanted to, we have seen those crazy tri-core lineups out of Virtus Pro and other teams where they go Lifestealer jungles, OD wins mid, and then we have some carry farm the safe lane.
Yeah. I really do like the pickup of the Vengeful Spirit here. She's been kind of making a resurgence here and there, mostly on an emphasis of her push potential with Aura, but in general, she just provides a lot of good things that are going to work well against Mouz Sports, in particular the swap against Bane. Not only interrupting the channel, but just pulling Bane into a bad position in general. He's not a very quick hero on his feet. He doesn't have that much survivability once he uses the Brain Sap. So in general, if VS can get a good swap off to pull him out of position, or an enemy carry that Mouz Sports inevitably picks up, then they're going to be able to control things a lot more effectively. So I do like to pick up there. Along with that, if Lifestealer goes something like a Desolator, then the Wave of Terror is going to work wonders there. But to start things off, we're going to see the Naga Siren be the mid of, or not necessarily mid of choice, but a hero of choice for Mouse Sports. Now, as far as the matchup, if they wanted to run Siren mid, they would be going up against OD, and I really feel that Siren is too reliant on Riptide to actually feel comfortable with that matchup.
She would get crushed. She needs Riptide because her base damage got nerfed so hard. Like, it'd be... Think about taking Mirana mid against OD and then make her a melee hero. It'd be like that without the ability to leap out of trouble. She'd be so boned it wouldn't be funny. So I agree, she's definitely not going mid. She's going safe lane, gonna either support or she's gonna farm. One of the two. I mean, it could definitely go either way with their current heroes. And of course, I mean, she can pretty much just be played for Song of the Siren as a setup. If they want to, because like right now, they could win with the current drafts. I think if they draft like another big AoE, I think they could quite potentially take team fights. Even against an OD who wins mid and gets fairly well stacked early on.
So what carry does Mouse Sports go with to synergize with Siren if she's support, or do you think Siren's going to be the carry?
Easy. If they're going to pick up a carry to go with Siren, it'd be Gyrocopter, hands down, because he can set up the cooldowns, and of course he can get in a position for really good flax as well. Because half the problem with flak cannon is you need to get in there and need to dish it out quickly, without giving time for the squishy supports, so who tend to be at the back of the fight, to back off out of range of the last couple of hits. You want to be in position, not so you like get instantly taken out by their counter disable, but you want to be in position so you can flak them down quickly without giving them a chance to back off. And it looks like they're actually going. That actually might be a Naga Siren carry if they're not picking the carry right now. That actually could be Black on Naga Siren, but we'll see.
Have you ever seen Black play Siren? It doesn't feel like his sort of hero necessarily.
I don't think so. Yeah,
I mean, with really good illusion micro, I could see it, but I would be more apt to think that it is a supportive Siren, but then they just have a ton of lockdown and they need damage followed up.
Yeah, I mean, they could actually. Well, I'd say they could draft like Queen of Pain. They could send Queen of Pain or Puck mid. Sure, they're going to get their. Like, they're going to get stomped. Wow, they actually banned their own Gyrocopter. Alright, so no, that's probably Naga Siren carry. Unless they've got some really weird pick up their sleeve. I mean, we could see a curveball coming in a minute. But sure, Puck or Puck or Queen of Pain are going to get stomped mid by OD. But they're high impact. So they just need some levels. They get some levels out. They can come out and they can go and like gank the crap out of a tri-lane. Like heroes like Vengeful Spirit, Leshrac, they can get slammed really quickly. Timbersaw being picked up, that questionable where he's going to go, and it looks like that actually maybe Naga Siren farming. No Syndra. No, wait, what? Wait a minute. Look at those. Who's Black playing then? Unless they're swapping.
Prophet, or yeah, swap's possible. That's for sure. That's really weird actually to see all that kind of coming out. I think they're trying to mess around with swaps and make the enemy think something else, because that just doesn't really align. Quikwa doesn't seem like a Tinker player, and definitely not in a solo lane circumstance. It's just, no, I really am not so sure about how that's going to play itself out, but I do think there's going to be some swaps involved.
Yeah, that'd be the weirdest lineup ever. If they were going to play with those, like, even with those heroes, like, that'd be the weirdest set of heroes to pick for those particular players. Like, Tinker in the offlane is going to go horribly. So, I mean, I don't really see that happening. And Black farming Nature's Prophet carry. Oh, well, you know what? Nature's Prophet likes farming. Black likes farming. Doesn't make a horrible amount of nonsense, but still. We'll see. We'll see if they start swapping in a second.
Yeah, that'll be pretty interesting.
No,
but,
they're not. Black is sticking with HP. He's buying up.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting matchup, how they're going to play it out here. They're going to go Soul Ring Rush on the Tinker. And it looks like, yeah, the Black is just going to be trying out a completely different role set, as far as I can tell. Unless they're abandoning the offlane entirely and just kind of going for a 3.510, which is absolutely possible. The problem is, of course, that their tier 1 will be forfeit with the Leshrac on the board. But real quick, let's go through the lineups as far as what we see here. Virtus Pro, they are going to be running Illidan here on the mid lane, most likely, on the Outworld Devourer. Then we do have KSI on the Lifestealer. We are also seeing NS on his Leshrac. There is going to be Arzart on the Vengeful Spirit. TMW, aka Tame My Wild, is on Timbersaw. And he's also been known as Crazy as another alias there on the screen. But over on Mouse Sports, what are we looking at for their lineup?
Well, we've got Syndra playing this most like. Well, I hope it's. Well, you know what? Who knows? It's probably a carry at this point in time. I'm going to say carry Naga Siren. We've got Koikova playing the Tinker. Fata's going mid still with the Beastmaster. That actually does make some sense. Tinker. I'm not 100% sure what Tink is up to just yet. I think they might actually be farming... No, wait a minute. This could be a support Nagastar and farm Tinker instead in the safe lane. And then, of course, Pass doing his own support thing with the Bane. And then we're going to have Black just farm for... Just use Nature's Prophet and just farm away, get Dollar in the jungle. And that... Well, this is sort of going to work. Really depends how long Tinker can keep up the March of Machines, because March of Machines is pretty damn obnoxious. You get stuck trying to go into that with this defense trial, that's going to deal out a ton of damage.
Yeah.
And these guys, they're not going to be able to dive them all that easily. With that in mind, if they catch him out, if they land a Split Earth or a Magic Missile, he is going to melt very, very quickly, and all they don't have any good hard stuns to stop that from happening.
Yeah.
They've got Nightmare, but you can get around that. You can just juggle it a bit if you want to get your spells off, get your chain stuns off. It's not going to stop that. Net will stop somebody from chewing on him physically, but at the same time, they can still just drop their nukes in his face still. So he has to be very, very cautious about how aggressive he gets.
Yeah, this will be pretty interesting here. We're very confident in the fact that it would be solo lane for Black. They actually just threw him mid, which is kind of surprising against the OD who steals his intellect. But either way, Illidan and Black, the two carries, are playing the mid heroes to go toe-to-toe with. Actually, NS and Cinderace crossing paths there. But yeah, essentially the big thing here for their lineup is Mousesports realized that there would be an aggressive tri lane, and they wanted to shut down the Lifestealer's farm early. So they're using Blind and Enfeeble to limit his CS potential to the point that he only has 2 and 0 right now on this second wave. So yeah, pretty interesting strategy. I think it'll really come into play once, like you were talking about, the March Machines gets on down. They can Nightmare, and actually, Koikova taking a lot of damage right here. Will it be enough to keep him alive just from Enfeeble? There's a Riptide turning around a lot of damage the other way. Koikova's taking it up, and that's going to be the first blood on Vengeful Spirit. Arzar gets dropped down, but the stun right-click is enough for NS to at least trade 1 for 1. So there it is. We're going to see it kind of start working out. The first blood did, however, go to the Naga Siren, so Cinderace going to be able to move in towards Boots or Flying Courier, whichever he would prefer. But as I was saying, the lineup will really start coming into play with March of Machines, Nightmare, and the Ensnare, trying to lock somebody in a position where they can just march all over them, and even Rage won't help you from that.
This is what I'm a little bit worried about. Like, the fact, this is obviously, Mousesports against this Aggrestron, they have actually drafted a pretty strong setup against it, because it's essentially 4v3. Because any time they try and engage you, anytime they try and engage, Black can show up and just kill somebody fairly easily. It's not going to be too much of a stretch for him to do that. What I am a little bit worried about is that Timbersaw gets out of control. Not so much gets out of control, but he gets up to where he needs to be, and they start Infest Bomb, because I don't think they're really relying on KSI to get super fat here. It's pretty much mostly on Outlaw Devourer's back. And because of Timbersaw's abilities, this Timber Chain, he can act as a delivery method for an Aegis Bomb, and this is what's going to hurt. Because Timbersaw, once he gets this level advantage over the tri-lane, or if Black, doesn't end up getting as much farm as life, he spends a lot of time. Yeah,
so follow up Split Earth onto 2. They get neck with both of them. A lot of negative armor. Cinderace going to get right-clicked immediately, but the Nightmare keeps him up. He might be committing suicide. No, it gets cancelled out, but he does get right-clicked. Salve keeps him up for one more light right-click, and that's enough to bring down NS. March taken away. There's a right-clicks, and in the end, it's a double kill for Koikwa, as he brings down everybody but KSI's Lifestealer. So, yes, they do lose 1. Leshrac, again, picks up a kill, but at the cost of 2. So that is, again, a very nice trade for them. Sending Koikova to buy his Soul Ring from the side shop in just a moment. That's really, really good for them. Also, a rotation that I have to highlight. This actually is amazing, in my opinion. Going up against the OD, they put Black in 1 versus 1 for the first 3 levels of OD, but as soon as he got that second rank in Prison and had full mana, they realized Intellect Hero won't be able to do too much here. So they go ahead, they just global teleport Black down bottom, and they walk Beastmaster mid. So they switch it up. The first few levels, Black gets good farm against him before Prison gets ranked up, and then once it does hit rank 2 and higher, they swap it up, and Beastmaster will be the one to take the flak on the mid, where Black just gets the most of his situation, currently sitting only at 6 and 3, but still, he has been able to at least get a good amount of experience and not get denied constantly.
Okay, it's just an interesting rotation. I just want to ask, why not just start them in that? Like, what's the big difference between starting them in that position with Beastmaster? It looks like they might actually Beastmaster getting chased around by Haystron, because I mean, level 1, Timbersaw probably isn't really going to impact Black's farm bottom either.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to that, as far as I can tell. I mean, you're going to get the solo experience either way, but there is always the possibility that they might have run the tri lane defensively and run Timbersaw off lane. It's not what they expected, but it was possible, and forcing an extra rotation to get Black some farm would have been detrimental, because that at least costs it's a single TP scroll, if not two, if he wants to save the global teleport. So I guess it was that mild risk. Actually, Black going to get picked off here. Team W, nice move there with the Chakra and that rank 2 Timber Chain, locking him down pretty hardcore. So, but yeah, as I was kind of saying, I kind of feel they were worried about who was going to be bottom in that mystery aspect of it, but that turned out not to be an issue too much at all.
Yeah, I can respect that. That's definitely solid. Like, if you don't know, might as well put him in the safe lane. That said, take my wild with the Tim. So this is what I'm worried about. Now that he's got that level 6, level 7, he's a pretty big threat. Dishing out pure damage. Like, he's going to rip Tinker in half pretty much if he gets stuck in up here. And I feel like if he just, like, if he waits a couple levels, wait for the Infest, like, he can come here and he can pull this, like, he can just rip this Trilane to pieces. And I am a little bit scared for them because of that. Because Mousesports don't have that same high impact hero come that point in time. Like, sure, you got like a Beast Mode and stuff, but doesn't have the sheer ability to like, just tear 3 heroes in half with his AoE. And especially like if he gets that quick, well, he has actually opened up with an Orb of Venom, also got the Arcane Boots. I'm kind of expecting him to go for the Bloodstone as well, but that said, we have seen some weird, like, I could see him like trying to do something nuts if he feels like just goes like straight for a Rod of Atos. Like, Rod of Atos and his ult are actually really, really brutal when you put them together. However, it has sort of been the Bloodstone I'm most experienced I've seen. People tend to rush that first because, of course, it gives them that sheer level of mana regeneration to spam the Timber Chain.
Ooh, and as in a bad spot, the Ensnare comes on out, Black TP's on in. The stun did connect, though, and that limited a few more right clicks, which they might have needed here. The Boar Slow does connect. No! It got canceled, unfortunately, so they couldn't slow him down. They have to fall back from here, wasting Black's TP, his salve, and now going to get prisoned up to be turned around on, possibly. Vengeful Spirit coming in with the Magic Missile, looking for body blocks, but not finding them here. Black will be able to walk on away.
I should mention this game, OD is in fact going straight for a mech. Has picked up the Tranquil Boots, most likely to be disassembled into the headdress fairly shortly on as well. He's actually still giving chase. Wow, Illidan, of course, getting very, very aggressive. He's got some people at his back here. He's got Ennis, but Ennis is pretty low. He needs to be careful because, I mean, Tinky comes over here, Tinky can mess him up. Split Earth comes out. Haas now throws down the Nightmare here. Open Wounds, it's gone down on top of Cinder, and Cinder backing up as well. Laser goes out, manages to blind Lifesteal. Lifesteal decides to back up as well. Arsat still skulking about, hasn't used his spells just yet.
This is the second time that NS has mistimed his Split Earth against Prison, just a little bit too early both times. It's so darn difficult because you get used to all these 2.5 second delays and then like disruption and stuff like that, and then you have to go up against a full 4 second. Generally speaking, professional players, yeah, they should be practicing that, should be hitting those almost every time. But in that situation, it's just unfortunately obviously not what he's used to sufficiently. Now getting another prison off. Beastmaster cannot roar away, but I'm not sure if they're going to get the disable Chakra Magic, but there's not enough damage to actually slow him on down. So he will be able to walk back safely to tower. And in the meantime, Black's farming down bottom, and Tri-Lane up top seems to be faring at least alright, as there's only 600 gold away for the Tinker to pick up those BOTs.
It's Timbersaw just going to... Well, it looks like he's just going to go back to farming his bottom lane for a second here. I mean, he could quite easily kill Black again. Black is easy. But top lane, though, it looks like we've got a bit of an engagement. Koigavar going to go down. Yes, they will pick him off there. There's Virtus Pro also losing their Leshrac on top of that. But I think it's a fair trade for them. They want to kill that Tinker more.
So, I think really the game changer here is when Illidan finishes up that mechanism, which he is getting relatively close to, but still has a decent way to go. I mean, we're talking at least 700 gold to get every single piece outright, and that's going to be a big factor. We do see down bottom Black taking a lot of damage, and with this Magic Missile always available, he cannot go for the TP. He can head for the hills as long as he wants to, but there's no way of him actually getting on out of here. So, it's just good rotation, and unfortunately Black, it almost seems like he can't pass that river line because they are just putting so much pressure out on him, as they should.
Well, like, they don't even need Arsat there. I'm pretty sure Tamer Wild can just solo kill him pretty much. Just because, well, with this, like, the silence is so good for Timbersaw, just because he can jump around. The pure damage, it's just ridiculous. Like, it does not have, like, Nature's Prop does not have enough health to deal with that. He can just tear him apart so quickly. Especially with the Chakram there, as it looks like they are going to keep going up to Fat, although Passport's in. We've also got Nagastar. No, she cancels, decides not to port, as they realise that it is an illusion and there's no pressure being put on mid anymore. However, it does waste the TP there for Syndron, who does not really want to be burning extra money on that. Now they're going to throw the Chakram down on top of Fata. Fata also gets hit by the Split Earth. They decide to back off, though, land a couple of hits, but won't follow through there.
Split Earth is a hard spell to land, man. It just doesn't seem like it's NS's day. It's on Luxembourg, of course, because these two European teams, so you can't really blame Pings at all. It's literally just this guy has not practiced Leshrac plus OD, and unfortunately to a fault as they missed out on a few kills, though Illidan will be able to pick up one with his Sanity Clips on mid, maybe a second. Mapaz, of course, is able to Magic Wand through the Illidan's damage, but Timbersaw comes in to clean it on up. So, yeah, as long as they're getting the kills, I guess it doesn't matter too much. We do have a quick disconnect from Bane, possibly a pause as a result, but right now VP looks really strong. Looking at the gold graph, they're already over 2,000 gold advantage and moving in towards a 4,000 experience advantage. It does seem like, although this game is a lot closer than the last, Virtus.pro is making it go the same way. Now up on top, NS taking a lot of hits, but Black might fall first, he falls second, but still, KSI is going to have to walk on out of there. Not confident in this position whatsoever, though it does seem like Arzard is coming on in. Mouz very aware with their current ward setup. So Tinker gonna have to hide under tower. Might go for March to clear it on out, but the big deal here is those 1-for-1 exchanges, generally favoring Virtus.pro as they're just happy to get more cash on the board. Yes, Tinker will finish up his BOTs, but that was inevitable. And if they can just get more money for their core heroes, Timber, Lifestealer, and OD, they're gonna be happy to take this to the mid game.
Yeah, I feel like this mid game is gonna be fine for Virtus.pro. Like, Lifestealer, he's getting some nice little items, and it's just going to come down to the fact that it's going to be Timbersaw as a delivery method, Nake's is going to be jumping up, bombing people, and it's just going to be Outward Devourer farming away. He's going to be their big late-game, hard-hitting hero, whereas, to be honest, like, Mousesports just don't have that same kind of hero. I don't know if we'll see something cute here from Koibe, whether or not he'll go for some crazy, like, Ethereal Blink Dagon build or something stupid that can just nuke down people, but at this point in time, I don't really see their primary farmers competing in the late game. Obviously, Prophet can do some damage, but he's not going to be on OD's level, not even close.
Yeah, Prophet is just in a very bad spot. I mean, when was the last time you looked at Black CS and 11 minutes in, actually Beastmaster taking some hits here on bottom. Team W is such a strong player and such a strong hero. I mean, Whirling Death destroys strength heroes so effectively, but yeah, as far as Black's farm goes, I mean, when's the last time you looked at an 11-minute game and saw Black CS sitting at 38, and most of those jungle creeps, which give far less gold? I mean, like, this just completely skews all his average GPM results because it's not even close to what he really wants to have. So he might be able to pick up like a Midas or something to try to bounce back, but for right now, in such a bad spot, and you hate to see it.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see Timbersaw TP up top a little bit more. Like right now, Virtus.pro trading kills them is as long as they trade on a one-to-one basis, like any kills they get up here are really, really strong. Just keep trading kills up here and just keep slowing people down up here. This is going to work out from just fine. Timbersaw, wow, just dives in on top of Beastmaster and destroys him. There's just nothing he can do against his Chakram at all. It's completely messing him up. It's level 2 now as well. He's got that level 2 ult. It's just going to get worse and worse. Remember, the Quaker back in the mid, going to try and do some defending there, but it looks like we've got another clash up top, players, potentially.
Well, yeah, kind of just drawing the line at least for the moment. Mid. And back in mid, Team W is going to be able to get that, chalk him off, and they're going to just make sure that they can get the kill with the Sanities. I don't feel the Sanities was necessary, and the cooldown is very, very substantial, but easy to get the kill and get in, get out. No problem at all. Now, one thing I want to highlight on is NS hasn't really gone for a push-oriented build with considering Edict, though we do see Cinder initiating on in. He does pop off the Riptide, but he's going to have to Song pretty soon. Otherwise, he's going to take a heck of a lot of damage. KSI still raged on up, but there's going to be the Fiend's Grip to lock him on down, while the other two are disabled. But now all three are invulnerable, and TMW has come into the action. Going to bring down Bane, and possibly Cinder in here. Not getting the stun, though. Cinder at least brings down NS for his trouble. Either way, a 2-for-1 in favor of Virtus.pro.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me Leshrac is skipping Edict, just because, I mean, this is pretty common in like aggressive trialing Leshracs. You don't want to be maxing out Edict, or even the stun. Like, you go for Lightning first because it's reliable, long range, you can use it from a distance safely, because Leshrac's pretty squishy. You don't want to be running up close against 3 heroes, because it's quite likely to get picked off, especially against high damage dealers like Tinker, or people like, obviously, March Machines. Doesn't want to be running around trying to Edict something while he's sitting in the middle of March Machines, or up against stuff like Naga Net. So I can completely respect that decision to not pick it up. And that was what I meant about Timbersaw. When he goes up there, he's going to rip people apart and takes 2 kills up there very, very easily. It's just, they have no way to defend against that. Beastmaster just not even have close the same amount of damage output that Timbersaw can. Sure, he can go up there, maybe pick off one hero, but they've got time to disengage. Maybe even try to save one guy if OD ports up there with a mech. But Timbersaw shows that people are dying, and they're dying too damn fast to port in to save against.
Yeah, in general, just the Timbersaw brings so much to their lineup here, and it's something that I think pro teams have kind of put it on the back burner because it's new and it's fresh, and maybe they have been practicing it and they just don't want to reveal it prior to TI3, but we are seeing it coming out a lot very suddenly right here, and it's been very, very effective. Now, I personally do prefer Timbersaw on like a bot lane or any side lane compared to mid, just because there's that huge swatch of land that does not have any trees to jump to, but even so, they just have, with this control, we saw S4, we see TMW, controlling this hero very, very effectively, and it's making it so that they can initiate well with the invest bombs, they can do a lot of damage, and there's really no answer from Mousesports right now.
As you see, Cinder now in a bit of trouble. Rockets come out. Raw hits Arsart, though. Arsart's going to go down to Axis now. We do have the Split Earth landing on top of Fighter. Fighter's going to get taken out as KSI is going to drill him down there with his life steal. And now we've got, Hook out. Virtus Pro going to jump out of there with a Timber Chain. Look at Cinder, going to give chase. Doesn't have Nagasong up just yet. Still 50 seconds on cooldown. They do have Fiend's Grip available, but no real way to deal the damage or even stay safe while Timbersaur's skulking around there. So it looks like Quagga has gone to the bottom. Like I saw him farming Ancients, he cleared out a couple of stacks there. And it looks like he's just going to sit bottom and just, well, no, not sit. When I say sit, I mean teleport around the map and just push whatever lane appears to be undefended and try to farm it. But here we go, a Nake's bomb inside the Timbersaw.
This looks bad for Pause coming on in. They just need one Whirling Chains, but they don't have the vision. They do have Radiant Vision. They saw Pause for just a fraction of a second, but know that he's safe under tower and probably retreating back. Now they see him underneath the ward. This is bad for Pause. He walked right on top of that Obs ward, and now here comes the Initiation Chakra. Will clip him. That's enough to slow him on down. To get the open wounds, KSI has it maxed, but it's going to be TMW to look for a solo kill. So it gets nightmared up, though, and it's going to be KSI to follow through. There's going to be, however, a sleep, and they're going to start the March Machines. Here comes Black. He gets the spread up on KSI. He doesn't have a way to break out of the trees, gets Fiend Script up, and gets locked down. TMW on the run. Should be able to get on out of here with the Timber Chains, but still taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, in mid, there's going to be a quick ultimate coming in from Illidan to finish the job there. And it looks like TMW is not done yet. He wants to try to clean something up, but not finding an opportunity, even though Pause is only sitting at half HP.
I like that. They tried to sprout him, but immediately Timbersaw just drops a Chakram on it and then Timber Chains away. Cleared it out, but unfortunately for Nakes, he was hit by Brain Sap and then Fiend's Grip, so he wasn't going anywhere regardless. We got Quagga up. They're going back to the top lane, just going to help defend against that. We're just looking at Vengeful Spirit. I'm going to say this: Vengeful Spirit has actually picked a Tread so far, but his lineup, I feel like they. Well, actually, no. I look at that, and then actually, no, it's not going to help. I was going to say Pipe isn't going to help at all. Really, they've got Raw. It's going to mix. They've got Axes as mixed damage. Sure, it'd be nice, but then Tinker. I mean, his damage, well, pure. A lot of pure damage from Bane. Makes his profits mostly right-click apart from the ult, but it looks like they're going to pressure the bottom tower, and wow, NS trying to back up here. Nagasaren pushing in. I don't think she's going to get him. In fact, she may end up regretting this. The port in for Black. Black's actually going to right-click him down, and Timbersaw now stuck and actually pretty much out of mana there. He's only got 200 left, got enough for pretty much another couple of shots, and then he's out, and actually may end up regretting this, backing up quickly. Fortunately, Fiend's Grip is down. He won't get picked off there.
Yeah, he really wants that Bloodstone to keep on maneuvering about. He already disassembled into Soul Booster, which I'm not so sure about. Sure gives you an extra item slot, but right now those Arcane Boots would sure be handy in this situation. Either way, not too much happening. Of course, Black TP'd on in to get the last right click on NS, but Cinderin was able to just slip right on out of there, so no big deal there. But yeah, I do think the Pipe would be useful for Virtus Pro, just because the Tinker's March is universal damage, and that is based on magic and will be negated by the Pipe. But you have to think it's probably like two or three Marches, or at least add in one Wrath of Nature to actually make that worthwhile. So either way, helpful, but not 100% necessary, especially when you want to keep on going on the aggression as they currently are.
I think the problem is mainly I look at their lineup and think who's going to build it. VS like not getting the farm for it. Same for Leshrac. Like they're just really struggling because they've been trading like quite happily trading kills. Of course, means they can get some little core items like they got the wands up. They've got the wands up. Vengeful Spirit managed to find trades, but they're not going to really be able to get like they're not going to have like the situation where you just have somebody sit down and farm out a mech, or somebody sit down and grab like an early drums. Or an early drums for the team, or pick up a medallion of courage for the team. They're just not going to have that opportunity.
Wouldn't it just be nice if you just had like a 6th player on the side that like only had 300 mana, just followed you around and gave you aura support and random mechs and pipes and stuff like that? It's like, oh, nobody can build it. Just hand it over to him, no problem at all. But no, in this case, you're absolutely right. They cannot afford it, even with the gold momentum they have going on for themselves. Vengeful Spirit especially, like Arzart. Surprisingly, despite his team having such a good kill advantage, Arzart individually is not doing so hot. Currently 1-3-3, and of course, as a support, is only gotten 25 CS, so not so much for them. But still, they can at least get the mech, I think, on her, and that should, or sorry, they have the mech on Illidan, and I think in general that's going to set it up so they can team fight 5v5 with relative success unless the Naga song is perfect.
I should also mention that KSI picked up like a 16-minute armlet, so he's actually in a really strong position. Like, he is actually a very big, credible threat. As we've seen, Tinker picks up a blink. Oh my. Is this going to be a Dagon blink ethereal blade, Tinker? I would love to see that. I mean, that's freaking hilarious in pubs, but can Koikova pull it off here? I just don't know if he's going to have the time to farm it. Speaking of time to farm, like, he's just cleaning up stacks here. They may actually, I noticed there was actually a dire ward, a counter ward over here earlier, just to make sure that they didn't have this warded up. I think it's a very smart move from his team there. And they may actually, I mean, Virtus Pro may actually need to shut this down because this is a lot of extra farming. And they know it's happening because they've got this ward up here. They know something's sus, but they're not doing anything about it just yet.
Yep. So in this case, Black kind of falling and taking the number 2 or number 3 slot, just going for Lothar's, going for a little bit of right-click split push, but it's buying room for Tinker, who himself is going to be pushing out lanes quite extensively. And then, yeah, like you said, probably going for a bit of single-target focus. If he's going to be able to bring down anybody, it's going to be requiring that. At the very least, he can benefit a lot from Ghost Scepter to try to nullify some of the output of KSI or of TMW. Meanwhile, bottom, Paz is going to be able to get a pick off on Venge. Just not Silent Smiles game, but we'll see. Anyways, but yeah, I think that the mobility is very, very important for Koikova, but he has to be moving in towards bigger items very, very quickly. I'm talking Hex or Shivas, because if you don't get that bulk on him within like the next 8 or so minutes, the fact that he farms that rapidly isn't going to be that big of a factor. Now, one nice handy thing we're going to see on top lane here, that he does get to BOT over to the Beastmaster's summons, but we'll see how effective that can be in the future. Actually, Courier in a bad spot, but he doesn't get the chance to right-click it.
Yeah, as it looks like they may... Oh, they're going to do some damage to this tower. Not going to take it out, though. We'll just be left there. In fact, it's going to get denied, unfortunately. It's going to be a bit of a blow there. Going to lose a fair amount of gold from that. Do you see any aggression on the bottom lane tower from the Radiant? No, I think they're a little bit worried. They've had a few people picked off in this bottom lane. Need to be careful about that. The mobility from Black. Black's been getting very, very aggressive. See, Tinker, well, ports into that bird, then sets some March Machines, is actually going to intercept the creep wave. May farm off a couple. In fact, yeah, going to set up a second wave of March Machines, and he will pick up that wave fairly easily. And see, NS trying to dance his way through. Wow, that is doing a lot of damage. I think he should have just bailed immediately instead of trying to run around in circles and dodge all the little machines. Yeah. But he takes a ton of damage from that.
Yeah, it was kind of a cute little bait. He actually NS might get picked off here as a result. The Wrath of Nature connects. One right click is all it takes for Black to clean it up very nicely. Courier's also here. Keep that in mind. But the Sprout comes out onto Arzart. Going to be a quick and easy kill for the Beastmaster here. And more March means more potential to push down on this tier 2. And that situation arises because I think it was a little bit of a bait by Koikova. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe he underthought it. But either way, he didn't blink before he BOT'd away. It was almost like, come get me, come try to stun me. You're just going to take a shit ton of damage. However, Black on the front lines here didn't get a chance to TP away himself, as this time the Infest Bomb works out very nicely between KSI and TMW.
I think it was very greedy by Black to think he could just sit there and just TP away. He had mana. He could have just Shadow Bladed further away and then TP'd out. So I'm not dead sure what that was about. But ends up paying the price of being a little bit overconfident there. Meanwhile, though, someone we haven't really talked about is Naga Siren. Now, she is actually going for a mech here. Synderen is going full support role. This is going to be a little bit rough because Naga Siren's kind of heavy on the mana. So throwing in a mech as well into like taxing her mana pool as well, it means she's not going to get a whole lot off in the fight. She's probably going to only have enough for one net, one Riptide, her ult, and then a mech, and she's going to be pretty much empty. So this is going to be a little bit painful for her, and I don't think anybody's picked up Arcanes for the team. Actually, no, I lie. They do have one on Beastmaster. And Bane's also picked one up as well.
Koikova's got to watch himself. Force-staffing on forward. They almost have vision of him. They're throwing in a very extended pursuit, but if they don't get any damage on him in 3 seconds, he is home free. So, yeah, a very risky TP jumping on this bird in the middle of nowhere, right next to the opposition, right next to an observer ward. But even so, just a little bit too quick on his feet. If the OD had force-staffed the Venge forward, that might have been a different story, but of course she is only level 9, so she doesn't have rank 2 swap. Either way, Koikova living it close to the edge, and I think that's going to be how they're kind of living for the next 20 minutes of the game, because he has to farm aggressively, but it's so easy to pick off a Tinker if he's not extremely careful about where he decides to TP to.
You can see Beastmaster also with his blink. Now, they have some pretty good initiation. The double blink. Tinker has picked up an orb, so he will be going for Hex. Hex, of course, very, very efficient, very boring, though. But, of course, chain hexing is going to cause some serious trouble if they can manage to get that up and running. And with the Beastmaster, like the pair of blinking disablers, this may be what they want. They can shut down. Most importantly, they want to shut down this OD, make sure he doesn't get his stuff off in the middle of the fight, and just blow him apart if they can. And also give room. If they blink in to skin disables off, I mean, they could pretty quickly turn this fight into like a 1v4, or like a 1v4, 1v5 very quickly, especially with people like Nagasiren as well as Bane to follow up as well.
Yeah. So...
Wow. Misclick bottom lane. They throw out the magic missile and misses entirely. Actually hits a creep.
Ouch. So they going on Synderen prior to that, and it just didn't work out?
Yeah, like they tried to jump Synderen and pass down there and ended up stunning a creep. That was not the best result. Unfortunate.
So, yeah, in that situation... No, I mean, they really can't afford to miss kills like that, because the longer this game goes on, it's going to be easier and easier for Quekwa to turtle it up, just continuing to march out any lane he wants. VP, you can tell that they're not earning gold very much. Like, they can go in the jungle all they want. Lifesteal is going to be able to move in towards a heart, but that's, like, focused on one hero. The other supports, definitely losing momentum, especially, like, Vengeful Spirit and the Leshrac. Them two together, they can barely afford their continuous ward usage. Like, that's pretty much all they've got going for themselves. So in this position, they need to actually make those kills count, and that's kind of unfortunate that the little misplays here and there are costing them. By the way, Timber looks to be going for a hood and subsequently most likely a pipe.
Yeah, pick that up. Okay, so yeah, he's going to pick that up. I'm not going to go for a main disabler, which is fair enough. He can pick that up now that they're actually getting a fair bit of farm. So the hood's going to work out for him. Like, it's going to make him very, very difficult to kill. And it's going to give him a lot of time to charge, like basically to charge around deep into these fights. And I think this is good because, of course, Tamer, while very aggressive players, anything that lets him dive like crazy is going to be a good thing for him. I'm actually surprised. Like, he's got a really, really, really good amount of farm. Just in gold, not so much in CS, but just in a sheer amount of gold. Like, he's doing very well. Got the Bloodstone up and running, got the bottle, Magic Wand, and now he's well on his way to picking up that hood. As it looks like they're going to go bottom, though. Big engagement here. Arsart in some trouble. They're going to get stun off, but he will get lasered down. And the other three, they don't engage Blaze.
No, I mean, they still have Roar up, they still have Fiend's Grip up. If they walked in, they could just get picked apart very, very quickly. So, would have been kind of a mistake here. We're going to see Dust come out onto Black. However, there's that Roar. KSI, however, very tanky with that plus 25 strength. Still gets Fiend's Grip up. They don't have a way to interrupt it. KSI will get locked down here, and Quekwa even dodging the Split Earth. Now in pursuit. Tamo Wild might be able to get away just because he's so darn slippery, but I think they want to finish off NS with these two axes. Where are the axes? Nofata going to get stunned on up. Just get locked down, but here's Black to pincer it on in. Deliver the necessary right clicks. Here's TMW looking for some damage onto Pause. He does get the Nightmare off. He's just going to TP away. Smart move by him.
Yeah, if he'd not TP there, he'd be dead for sure. Tamer Wild, this is just like basically a signature of how damn aggressive it's been. Like, he hasn't even got that hood pushed out here yet. He's still sitting on most of the components in the base right now. Hasn't even bothered. Like, right now, with that spare slot, he could quite easily afford to have that cloak sitting in his inventory. It would make him so much harder to kill. But he's quite happy. There we go. He's going to pick up the ring and he'll get that sent out right now, the rest of his hood. But, I mean, just think of it. He's being so aggressive right now. Imagine how hard he's going to be to kill once he gets that hood and turns it into a pipe.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This guy's going to be unkillable. I mean, like, he's not even waiting for the courier because courier too slow. He's Spider-Man. Why does he have to wait for stupid little items? But no, in this situation, like, he can maneuver around. He can essentially, they have to commit more than one big disable. Like, if they Fiend's Grip him, that still probably wouldn't be enough. If they Roar him, that won't individually be enough. They have to probably pop off two, and they can't afford those kinds of resources when you're dealing with the damage of a Lifestealer and a Devourer as well. So it's a tough position to be in, but they kind of just have to let TMW do his thing and just hope that they can kill enough core heroes other than him in order to make it worthwhile. Now, I should mention that they did get the Scythe, so Perma Hex is available for Quekwa when he does look for it, but beyond that, the one big issue is Virtus Pro picking up a gem. Now, Black is not nearly as safe, as of course we saw him get picked off down there, OD getting the last hit on that.
Should also mention Lifestealer picked up a Reaver. It looks like he's going straight for a heart right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to pick that up. Wow, that is going to be fairly painful. You have, bottom lane, we have the song come out, Nagasiren, here comes Tinker, porting in off the Beastmaster bird. They're going to go after Arsart as well as Illidan. Illidan in a lot of trouble here. Here we go, they're going to throw in the Roar though, as well as the 4-star, trying to get Illidan out of trouble. They already lose Leshrac. Gem is on the ground. They're also going to have Bane. Fiend's Grip KSI. That said, Bane is about to die. Bane gets torn apart there. Timbersaw just takes a massive dislike to him and tears him to pieces. But now we've got Timbersaw being forced backwards. Pipe gets popped there by the Radiant side. KSI losing health. He's got to arm up top. Timbersaw still all over them. Gem gets dropped again. And it's actually going to get recovered there. Going to get picked up by Lifestealer. And in fact, it looks like Prophet decides he wants to fight Black. Going to regret this. Black, what are you doing?
He does have... Oh, they still have the gem on KSI.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be too much damage right here. TMW finishes it up. A quick look, trying to finish off at least KSI. Gets that blind effect. Might be able to snag the gem for a branch. But right here, Fata's going to try to TP away. They're leaving the gem. Come on, Koiko, you could have done it. But either way, he's going to blink. He's going to TP. And leave the little rock for the last track to snag on up. But one thing I want to highlight on real quick is the one issue that Tinker had in that fight was he was level 15, didn't have rank 3 rearms. So the time between his major burst damage instances of rocket after rocket was actually pretty substantial. It meant that they couldn't bring down the OD fast enough to avoid him using both his mech and his scythe. And by him surviving that long and keeping himself up subsequently, that meant that they couldn't really do much damage to KSI while he was Fiend's Grip. So that fight went okay for Mouz, but it could have gone a lot better. And the end result is now that they're actually getting a lot of pressure put on down bottom. TMW, however, might be locked down. Is this his first death? Yes, it should be if they can just finish it off. Nope. But they don't have any more disables. There's that sheep stick to come on in. However, he does get prisoned by the OD. That might be enough to keep him up. There's the Nightmare. TMW. Walking away, bottling up, actually re-engaging. Why the hell not? Goes on in, huge damage on Pos. He's already down, and Synderen with him. There's going to be no whirling death, but a couple right clicks. No. Here is the Song of the Siren, locking him down. Wrath of Nature on cooldown, but here come the March of the Machines, and he's trapped inside. Cannot get out of this one. Illidan is down. TMW on the run.
I want to point out that Song of the Siren time, at the whole time, Timbersaw's regenerating health at 30 to 40 health per second. That is pretty damn crazy. Like, this is like the perfect hero for Team Mouz. It's like even better than his Weaver because he can be so stupidly aggressive with it, and he dishes out so much more damage. Doesn't give a damn about armor, match resistance, just kills you, just completely and utterly wrecks you. How dare you try and kill him? He's just gonna completely turn it around and just go back in. It's like 25% health. You know what? I don't care. I'm coming back to fight you, and I'll win. I'll kill all of you.
Yeah. Pretty ridiculous. What's he getting now? He actually is looking towards BOTs for himself, so if this guy wasn't all over the place already.
I'm going to say Timbersaw. This is probably the most fun I think Team Wild's had in a while. There we go. BOT's done. He's going to teleport top lane, take that farm there. We'll see if Tinker can. I'd almost argue, get a BKB. Because, I mean, at the very least, it'll give him some time where he just cannot be hexed, cannot be shut down.
Yeah. That would definitely help out a lot. I mean,
that'll get his own hex.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could do that too. I actually really like that idea because right now they only have so much as far as disables go. They have Magic Missile, they have Split Earth, but neither one has really been as on point as it needs to be. And you're going up against stuff like the Fiend's Grip and the Roars. If you want to interrupt Fiend's Grip, you're going to need something a little bit more because, generally speaking, OD is using his prisons defensively, and that means that they could definitely benefit from that a little bit extra something.
So I'm just going to keep an eye on, of course, Lifesteal. Lifestealer has a heart now. Lifestealer is very tanky there. And we'll see what he goes for. I think did he just buy up? Oh no, I think he just got the bits of the heart recipe, so he's going to be stacking up gold for his next item. Now we've got some very aggressive wards here from the Dire. Trying to keep an eye on exactly what's going on down here. Right in the mid lane. This is fairly high traffic, so they can tell where most heroes are going. This gives them opportunity to move around and farm quite safely because Beastmaster is being fairly aggressive down here pushing because he's got those two wards to see what's going on mid and towards top, and he's got, of course, his Hawk to keep an immediate eye on what's going on in the jungle. I think, wow, he's actually kind of worried somebody's hiding in the trees there because, of course, Timbersaw can cut his way through the trees and just completely ambush Fata if he's not careful. But at the same time, right now, he's fairly
speaking
open
of ambush,
on this.
Oh my gosh, Koikova in a bad spot, but he does get the blink, so never mind.
Yeah, we'll manage to back off there. Tamar Wild, though, charging forwards. 15 charges on his Bloodstone at the moment. The question is, of course, what is he going for next? We'll see. And in fact, Fata decides to port mid. It looks like he's picking up a Necronomicon. And I think they could definitely use that. They need to, like Timbersaw, they need to burn some of this mana. It's getting pretty difficult, the amount of trouble he's causing just by being able to, like, he's so hard to lock down. It's almost, I'm going to say almost as bad as the Storm Spirit, trying to lock a Storm Spirit down that has a ton of mana.
Well, they're going for the pipe. They're going to go in, walk right under the March Machines, but the pipe's already gone. Look how fast that March chews on through it. Either way, now they're trying to go on the tower, fortified on up. There have not been any Roche kills, no Aegises. Just now Black, split pushing down bottom, takes a tier 2. He's going to keep on going. Meanwhile, Virtus Pro having to back off, at least for the moment. But they have to do something to respond to the bot lane situation, though it looks like Black is, at least for the moment. Yeah, he's going to TP up top.
You know what I want to see, Blaze? I want to see Blade Mail. I want to see it on KSI. and I want to see on Timber. Both those heroes are tanky enough to quite happily walk into triple March machines and watch Tinker die horribly. Oh wow, okay, there we go. Finally, Dagon. Tinker has picked up a Dagon, hasn't leveled it up yet. I say yet, he might in a minute, but it is actually pretty crazy to watch Tinker just jump in and backing out. Like, there we go. So he can just rearm. Is he going to blink forwards? No, decides not to go for it.
Out of mana, man. Yeah, he needs more intellect. So he is going for Dagon 2. That gives a tiny smidge more intellect. You know, +2. That's going to let him do like 8 more Dagons, so it works out. Black is going to go ahead and go for a Shadow Blade gank. NS just so squishy. I was talking about how they weren't finding the farm they need. And obviously we're seeing that here. Level 10, all he has is Earn Embracer. So Black able to right-click away with an Orchid, no problem at all.
Yeah, they're going to go after that. But top lane, we have Chaos, or we have... Okay, so we have Illidan up here sort of pushing for... This is pretty aggressive, considering they... Like, pretty ballsy, considering they have no ward vision over here. Pushing this deep in enemy territory is risky, because they don't have any idea to see what's passing through this area of the map. Like, right now, they've got 3 heroes heading towards them. They can see one, which is Tinker, but they can't see the other two. In fact, they may actually get a free kill here because they don't realize Illidan's here. Illidan will actually tear Pass apart. Pass gets destroyed. Port coming in as well actually cancels because the creep dies.
Yeah. Incoming pickup for Illidan is going to be the Linked Sphere. I really like that in this situation because every fight, yeah, KSI is going to be locked down pretty hard. Looks like there's no hope for him as NS heads for the hills. Actually going to initiate here. Illidan coming in for a big ultimate, but instead, that's what I'm talking about. He always gets disabled. There goes that Hex. He's ensnared. He has to stay backward. TMW plays Spider-Man on the front lines here, but there's the Song of the Siren. Looking for more March Machines, but where is the Tinker? Not getting that much off, so they're just going to fall back from here. It's a defensive song. Luckily, Song of the Siren is only going to be another 110 seconds off cooldown. But that's how every fight seems to start, is Illidan gets disabled. A Roar, a Fiend's Grip, a Sheep, anything like that, Illidan just cannot live through it. So, unfortunately here, he's picking up a Lincoln's defensively. Not the best offensively to give some intellect, but he needs it, because otherwise he's just going to spend half the fight not doing anything at all.
To be honest, I would like to see him pick up a BKB more than anything else. Sure, Roar will stop him in the middle of it, but it'll shut down a lot of the damage as well, the incoming damage as well. I mean, I suppose they have Fiend's Grip as well, but I mean, you can't Brain Sap him, you can't Nightmare him, because I feel if he goes for the Lincolns, there's just, with a rearming Tinker, you can knock it off very easily with absolutely no cost.
Yeah.
Blinking rearm, like, he can disable that anytime they need to, so that's what bothers me a bit about Lincolns. On the other hand, it does give some nice stats, and the regeneration is always good.
It's just interesting because Mouz has drafted such a great team against BKBs. So it's like, okay, well, we have every single spell in Beastmaster is good against BKBs. We can Enfeeble you, Fiend's Grip you on Bane. You have a ton of right-click coming on in from everybody here, especially Prophet. And then Tinker's March will burn through it as well. So really, even when you have that BKB up, you don't really feel safe. That's why Lifestealer had to go for a Heart defensively, is because he's still getting completely just dunked on as far as that damage output goes when the Marches start reeling. So in this position, defensive is going to be the right choice, but BKBs don't seem to be a priority for anybody on Virtus Pro, considering what they're up against.
Yep. Of course, I mean, if they are focusing all their firepower on Outward Devour, we've got to keep in mind that that means that A, not fighting Timbersaw, B, they're also not. They're not fighting the Nakes. As it looks like, speaking of Nakes, Dust, bottom lane, Black, very dead. Very dead indeed. This is the other thing, like, Fiend's Grip is good and all, but they can disrupt it very easily. Like, I really feel like their only solid disable here against OD is the Roar. Because you try and Fiend's Grip, as long as Arsad isn't doing something silly, he can just swap him out very easily, because it does have the level 2 now. So he's got some decent range on it. So I feel like Fiend's Grip, they can counter it fairly easily, provided they don't get Arsad picked off, which, granted, is easier said than, is harder to achieve playing safe, because they do have the double blinks. They have the blinking Beastmaster and the blinking Tinker, which of course can blast into pieces at any moment's notice. As we see, Timbersaw grabs up a Shiva's as well. So he's sitting on, I like this, yeah, he's got some really good armor here. He's up to 22 armor, which gives him, what, roughly 57%? 56% resistance against physical, which I think he needs. It's pretty much, he just wants to be his tank. Like, the longer he survives this fight, he's got plenty of mana. He's getting, like, what, 24 mana a second back? He's got plenty of regeneration. The longer he stays alive, he just dish out ridiculous amounts of damage. Yeah.
On top of that, you know, he has 30 mana regen, so it's not like he's going to have to worry about that. And when you consider Essence Aura alongside him, essentially Timbersaw has just found a way to make sure that he has unlimited HP and mana and wants to make the most of it. So Shiva's is a really nice way to go with that, but probably going to stack on a Hex after the fact. Either way, yeah, right now, Mouse Sports, they don't really have a great opening. They're playing a split push map control style, but as we see, the Shadow Blade, not very effective at this stage in the game, especially up against, not a Geometry site, but still a lot of dust. And so Black keeps on trying to Shadow Blade out, keeps on getting locked down because TMW, he's playing like a Storm Spirit. He is so mobile and so easy to pick off. We might even see it here, going for the Chakra, but can't close in the distance for the dust. Nah, he's not going to be able to find Black here.
Actually, Black cancels. They're actually going after TMW. There we go, Hex as well. This actually might be what they need to shut him down. This is why I almost feel like they want to BKB just because you can get rid of the
Suicide? No.
Oh, doesn't manage it. Get rid of the Orchid effect.
So they're going for KSI now. He just popped off his Rage, and actually, starting on an S, I kind of feel like that's a very low priority target considering the circumstances, but a quick and easy pickoff before the full fight breaks out is going to help them out quite a bit. However, Black is going to have to retreat on out of here, unfortunately using his TP spell rather than scroll, and now they cannot reinitiate. Naga Siren is going to be picked off here, and that was, you know, measly trade, the Leshrac for the Naga Siren.
I don't know, I think it was probably fair. I mean, they're both taking sort of support roles here. Actually, his dust has been dropped on the ground. Somebody grab a gem? Off someone?
Yeah, KSI has a gem now, so that was carried by Cinderin previously. He just bought another one, so yeah. Cinderin not only lost its own life, but lost the Geometry side on top of that. However, turning things around nicely, Black is going to be going for a Roshan solo attempt, and that should be only about 20 more seconds, and he'll be able to bring that down.
So we're going to see, oh boy. We have, what is that, level 4? No, that's a max level day. All we need now is the Ethereal Blade. I feel like you did ditch the bottle about now. It doesn't really need it all that badly. That or the Soul. Well, the Soul Ring really synergizes nicely with the Rearm, so I feel like you should probably ditch the bottle and just get that really, really nasty Ethereal Blade. It's going to cause some serious trouble. As we see a Fat Piggy in there. Roshan just going to get cleaned up here, nice and easy. And who are they going to? They're going to actually give it to Tinker, so he's going to ditch the bottle there. And Tinker now with the Aegis. Wow, I'm just looking at this OD. He's hitting for what, 250? 250 off his orb? I mean, they could enfeeble him and he wouldn't give a damn. He's hitting for 250 pure damage a swing.
Wow.
Yeah.
If he can keep it up anyways, that's the big thing, is he, of course, has been locked down a lot, but he now has the Lincolns and the Force Staff. He should be able to get quite a few right clicks off, and on top of that, at the very least, they'll have a huge nuke coming on through, because there's not that much intellect. I mean, the Mouse Sports heroes are intellect, but as far as how many items they've gotten, it pales in comparison to the amount that OD has been able to stack up. But still, not going to be able to do this alone. KSI moving in towards his next item, presumably a Desolator, and he's going to have to stay on target if they're going to be actually able to net some kills.
Yeah, negative armor, of course, always painful, especially for stuff like Tinker, who isn't stacking it in the first place, only sitting on 10. That will leave him very, very vulnerable. I think somebody's making, it looks like Mouse Sports are making motions to try and gank top lane. I think they know that they're all up there, so they're just saying look out for that. But they are going to TP to mid. Yes, we are. We do have Tamar Wild TPing to mid to stop any kind of push there. As, I mean, this is going to turn into sort of a global game of cat and mouse. We've got so much mobility. You've got Nature's Prophet. Uh-oh.
If they can stop the song. Yeah, they have to go and get the Split Earth perfectly, burn him down before the song comes out, but the Fiend's Grip, it gives him enough time. Cinderin will be able to blow the song if he feels appropriate, but he actually pops off the mechanism, they turn around. Bringing down Venture Spirit, now looking for KSI, he's sheeped up, he's ensnared, and he is going to drop. Double kill Godlike for Koikova, and they're going to go for their last target of choice, but it looks like it was a successful TP for NS, so they pick up 2 for absolutely nothing. And on top of that, Koiko pushing down the mid lane a little bit aggressively. They are so happy about that kill because Nakes has actually been farming so much looking for Desolator or buying so much, he doesn't even have buyback for a few seconds. So, and he of course doesn't want to pop buyback considering the circumstances. Now down on bottom in the Radiant Jungle, TMW is going to suicide himself, giving away the gem if they choose to pick it up.
They might not have actually noticed it just...
Yeah, it's pretty secretive.
There we go.
There he is.
Well, that seems to be what they need. Rearming Dagon and Laser is enough to burst him down in the end there.
Lasers are always the answer, man. Always.
Oh, yeah. I've got to say, balls of steel from Cinderin earlier on the top lane. Like it was just such a moment where most players just mashed their ult as a panic mode button. But he held the line there, said, you know what, we've got time. I've got time. And allowed himself to act as big bait there and just brought time for Tinker as well as Fury on to show up and help turn that around. And I mean, that was a pretty big swing for them. She also should bring up the gold graph, by the way. It has been a very big swing. Like most of the game, it's been in favor of VP, but now with 7.5k advantage to the die, they have brought this one back quite nicely. And I feel like it's just this global farming they've got going. As well as the fact they've managed to pull ahead just slightly on kills is helping, but it's just been this global farm. They're really pushing around the map hard and making sure they're tapping more sources, and they have a couple of extra towers to boot.
This is going to be an interesting game. I feel like this one's going the mile. I think this is going to be at least an hour-long game, but we'll see. Right now, it's all about control, positioning, all over the map right now. Koikova farming up the Ancients nicely. Of course, still has that Aegis for a little bit longer. And in general, they have great disables. But if they're going to be able to pull this game away, I feel like Synderen needs a little bit more. Maybe something more supportive-oriented. In my opinion, at least something more right-click-oriented. Defeats would be nice. But, of course, pickoffs are always going to help out. And the Hawk is what sets that up. Scouting out, giving vision, and then TPing on right on top of it. And they're not going to poke and prod down at this tier 2 in the mid lane.
Yeah, this really sucks Vengeful Spirit and Leshrac. They are such food for Tinker. Like, this Hawk is ridiculous. With the Dagon, see, look, like they've scattered out Tamar Wild out. Tamar Wild, easy kill. Oh, maybe not. They don't quite. There we go. Walks into pass. Pass will finish him off.
Oh.
As we see, open wounds. Fiend's Grip gets cancelled though. He gets blown apart there. So it looks like they're going to give chase as well. But yeah, oh wow, Fatter now gets caught out there by the Hex. But we've got reinforcements TPing in. Status gets dropped. Fatter gets blown to pieces. Almost just survived. Illidan also can take a Black is here. Reinforcements have arrived. And now KSI, most likely the next to fall. A net to finish him off.
Such a good fight for Mouz Sports. Just baiting in, baiting out. They didn't want Bane to die, but everything else was very orchestrated. Like, they were like, okay, if Virtus Pro chases at all, we punish them tenfold. We got the TP Sprout, we've got the nets. Just, they have so much stayability themselves, and all they're doing is try to draw Virtus Pro out of their base, forcing the buyback from Lifestealer. He's not finding Desolator, and even if they walk away now, they're happy with the situation. However, looks like Synderen will lose his Gem of True Sight, and they will just have to blink and TP on out of there.
I want to mention, as we see, OD has actually picked up his own blink. That forced 2 buybacks. OD actually bought back as well.
Wow.
That's pretty damn painful. They lost a lot of money out of the engagement. Meanwhile, they are having some damage inflicted on the bottom tower as well, as the creep wave pushes up against that with nobody defending it. As we see the Hawk again heading out. Air Force 1 going to move out. The Greater Hawk going to find a target. Tinker's going to port in and then blow that target to smithereens,
or not.
although he gets hexed. Oh, fortunately, he has to turn around a bit there on the... Wow, no, doesn't disable. Has an Aegis, though. Loses the Aegis. I thought he was going to throw down his own Hex there. Decided not to. Blinks away. Managed to escape. That could have been a very dead OD, but he didn't get the Hex down first.
Yeah, well, he was it. At least the Tinker was able to blink away, and his Aegis was about to expire in about 40 seconds anyways, so really not too much lost, despite a nice little maneuver from OD jumping in and finding an opportune moment. And you look at his items, you see how he got there so fast. Blink plus Force Staff. This guy wants to be in the right place at the right time, alongside TMW. They can go for nakes, bombs inside TMW, and the Blink Force to make sure OD can be wherever he needs. So, beyond that, there's the 2 relatively inconsequential supports. All they have to do is stun the channels and try to add a little bit of lockdown where they can. But in this position here, the mobility for VP exists. They just need vision, and they need response, and that's going to be all down to reflexes and individual skill.
I'm going to say Tinker for president here. He's carrying this game for Mouz Sports. Looks like Black, though. Black is sitting on... I mean, as far as farm goes, Black is still farming pretty damn strong. 319 creep. But it just comes down to Tinker all over the show, shutting down people left, right, and center all over the map, and just making it really hard for Virtus Pro to find anywhere to farm. Should also mention, though, that Illidan is sitting on 360 CS, so he has actually been finding a lot of room to farm as well. And they've been prioritizing that, but Nagasar... Whoa, hang on. I just minimized my game there. Nagasar still looking to pick up another item, though. I think this is probably the Mouz Sports. If they're having an issue here, it's just that Synderen is not really having as much of an effect on the game as he wanted. And unfortunately, Song of the Start, like here, they just don't have a lineup that really helps set up big fights for them. So, I don't know. I almost feel like it's just been down to, like, she's just been being used as a mobile net to help snare the Lifestealer.
Yeah, at least now she does have a Diffusal Blade, a little bit of extra right-click, mana burn, and I would say most importantly, the Purge, so that they can lock heroes down. It's all about, right now, their strategy is putting the enemy in a bad position and keeping them there, so that they continuously take damage from the March Machines, from really everything that comes on out there. So I would say they are happy to pick up just one little extra thing, spam out those Diffusal Purges, actually get a nice little ward on mid, but it's going to get taken down immediately. And actually, there's going to be a pickoff on Synderen here. He can smash Song all he wants, but he's going to get sheeped up before it comes on through. So this should be a kill, though Paz might be able to turn around. Actually, Nightmare Cinderin, though, and they commit the Sanities to finish the job. Black will TP on top. Pretty much essentially what Black's trying to do here is make it a lose-lose situation for Virtus Pro. They have to go, and if they want to try to push in mid, then they have to lose some HP on their top lane. And so he's forcing them back, making sure that even though they lost a hero, they cannot capitalize by pushing down on the other lanes.
It's Hawk, it's looking, it's scouting, it may find NS in a minute. And that'll be a very dead NS if Tinker decides he doesn't like him. Nope, he's going to walk past that, not going to spot him out just yet. Meanwhile, Bane handed back to the mid, picked up his own Ghost Scepter there. It looks like Tinker is headed to the bottom lane. He's looking for anybody he can to pick off here, and this is fun. Like, this is the fun thing for him. You see a squishy support trying to defend, you can just jump up there and zap him, as it looks like they're going to jump up there with Beastmaster and get picked off. Oh dear, that loses a gem as well.
Yeah. I don't know if gems. I think they're like trading gems back and forth. I'm not sure if gem is the most consequential of things right now since you can't destroy it. But the big thing was a huge mistake from Beastmaster. He knew that Koikova wanted to go. He knew that they wanted to try to pick off KSI. But going on the high ground like that was a death wish. Now up on top, the Bane getting caught all by himself in the jungle. As far as ward vision goes, they didn't really have any real understanding of that based on observers. But just knowing to be at the right place at the right time, they happened upon him, and a little bit fortunate because now they're going to be able to finally take this tier 2.
I should mention this whole time Mousesports had a spare gem sitting in the fountain, so they've just picked that up now and using that instead. And I mean, the gem for them, like, even though they're not dealing with any invis heroes, the main thing for the gem, of course, just providing map control and getting rid of wards is a big deal for them. Just making sure it's really, really uncomfortable for Virtus Pro to push out of the base and try and farm anything, anywhere. So when you see, well, they do have level 3 Necro though, I suppose. So even if they lose a gem, they can always go counter ward with that. See if they run out of all of their gems. But Nagasaran is carrying that right now. And you did mention she has picked up that Diffusal Blade. So this is going to help. If she can get the illusions all on top of the Tamoa, if she can get them all on top of Tamoa, that may help just a bit. Especially once he starts blowing through that pool, because of course he's not been doing as well as of late. He's definitely starting to lose charges, and it's really been Tinker who's picking up steam. I should mention he has an Ethereal Blade. This is where things get gross, like really, really gross.
Yeah. If
you've never encountered an Ethereal Blade Dagon Tinker with a blink, it is one of the most obnoxious things you can ever fight against. You just jump in, kill somebody, jumps out. It's just nothing you can do. It's just so much burst damage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, if OD even gets caught out of position for a second, he'll get sheeped and blown apart before the sheep even wears off. 2,000 health just gone. Gone in the space of 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately for him, the Lincolns doesn't really change. A laser is very easy to keep that down and still get the Hex out at a pretty solid time. He might be able to Hex first, and that's kind of like the quick draw aspect of it, just kind of the old Western showdown, but we'll see if that actually comes into play whatsoever. The big thing right now is Roshan being yet again taken down by Black. This one's still not a cheese Roche because they waited like 40 minutes into the game to actually take Roche 1, but still going to provide the Aegis, and that's a pretty big deal.
As it looks like, I think Rockets bounce Lincolns too, if memory serves me correctly, and even Nature's Wrath. I mean, Nature's Wrath can even knock it off from across the map, as you see just there, so if they really want to, because Black's not really using it for a whole lot else anyway. Mm-hmm. Just sort of gradually pushes the map, just keeps things in their favor. But I really like this pressure that Mousesports are putting on Virtus Pro. It is really, really making life difficult for them to go. Like, even if they want to get aggressive, the problem is they're just getting jumped on. Oh, speaking of it, jumped on Fatta. Fatta getting caught out yet again. Bane's coming in, though, throws, knocks off the Lincolns. Decides not to press him.
Nice.
Oh, Raw comes in. Here we go. They're turning this around. Swap out. We've got the ports coming. I think Tinker's port might have got cancelled there.
I think he canceled it intentionally. He's waiting it out, coming on in. The Song is active, but he's porting over to kill KSI solo while the Song is a delay tactic. Lasers, Sheeps, Day Guns, they have the vision from the Hog. They get the kill. They lose a Bane, but heck, they just killed the hard carry with no buyback just because lasers are so fucking strong. And actually going up top, there is a Sheep Stick, and oh god. That is atrocious. Now going on in, NS going to get bursted down. TMW, the last man standing, going to try to go and turn things around, but Koikova blinks away. Going to be able to get back to full mana in a moment, forcing 2 buybacks. One from OD, one from Leshrac. And at best, they can bring down Black, but I don't even think so. No, he is going to be able to get on out of there.
Yeah, I take it for president. My god, look what he's doing. He's just utterly, utterly disgusting what he can do with this Dagon and the Ethereal Blade. To keep, like you saw, like OD just died, just dead, nothing you can do. Just jumps all over these heroes. Like even Lifestealer has our heart. Just took 2 volleys and he went down. It is so, so powerful. Doesn't matter if you've got Lincolns, laser, rockets, it'll all get rid of it.
Yeah.
See, I mean, at this point in time, like pretty much at this point in time, the other 4 heroes on his team are acting as a distraction to make somebody come out and fight them so Tinker can shop and blow them to pieces. You can do that on 4 separate points of the map, and Tinker can shop to every single point of that map and kill that person that they're fighting.
Yeah. Along with that, Tinker is just so freaking rich. You keep on calling him Tinker for president. Well, yeah, he is literally the 1%. He's sitting at 8,300 gold in his inventory just because he wants to wait till Aegis gets knocked out. So you compare that to like his supports. He has more gold than Paz has ever seen in this entire game, and almost as much as Synderen. Like, he is just so freaking rich at 31.5k net worth, and as soon as Aegis runs out, he can buy up whatever the hell he wants. So, yeah. Tinker for president / super rich guy.
Occupy Dota.
Yeah.
Occupy lanes. We gotta stop this. He's too rich. This is ridiculous. We need to spread some of this wealth around.
Indeed.
Normally the 8.7k mark is when you see the game is like well and truly over. But the weirdest thing is this is actually still going. The other thing I'm kind of worried about, like the thing is Virtus Pro, because they don't have the ability to, like they don't have the huge team fight or the ability to just completely lock down one character. The problem is they can't really stop Tinker from just blinking. Like when they try and push, Tinker blinks in, picks somebody off. Even if it's like Vengeful Spirit, she's dead, she's gone. Now it's a 4v5, and they're still trying to push. And they get the high ground again. He blinks in, picks somebody else off. Down goes Leshrac. Now it's a 3v5. It's just really, and you know, blinks back, they commit song, takes another person out. What are you going to do about it? This is so, and they can't either. And the other thing, of course, is while this bullshit is going on, they're trying to push Fireman, you've got Black just playing Rat Dodo on somewhere else on the map, just pushing elsewhere. Like, they don't even need him to turn up to these fights, because they can just instantly obliterate a target and make it a 4v4.
And, I mean, the Beastmaster Hawk is the perfect tool for that. Just maneuvering it around. Yeah, you gotta blink on, like, half your heroes, but just send in this little greater Hawk, and he's gonna be the hero Hawk. Just give him the vision you need, finding a easy little pick-off, and if you shift queue your sheep and they don't see the TP coming, there's literally nothing they can do until you're already dead.
What is it that StarCraft unit can recall, like,
Arbiter,
recall other units?
And then Mothership.
I don't know if it's Mothership, I don't know what it is. I haven't played StarCraft since...
Depends on which one you're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played StarCraft ages. Actually, wow, Bane, regretting putting up that ward. Gets blown apart by Tamar, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because Tinker's not dead. Tinker's just look at this, Tinker's just sitting at the base waiting for somebody to show up that he can kill. He's decided to go push mid.
CEO and executive chair right there.
Wow, he's going to hit 10,000. Like, what is the highest amount of gold we've ever seen someone... Like, and I mean not like right before the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like in a game that's still ongoing, Raxes are all still... What's the most amount of gold we've ever seen a hero bank? Because he's over the 10,000 gold mark.
That is ridiculous. Actually going for another snipe here. Going to go in, blinking away, but KSI gets the rage. Might be able to turn this around. He doesn't. He can Ethereal Blade himself. He's going to get dropped down. Aegis is now on the ground. Black pops off his BKB. Gets the sheep off onto KSI, but Koikova taking a lot of hits right here, and Timbersaw's here to help on out. Koikova's going to get locked down. This song was just a moment too late. They're forcing Tinker to buy back, but he is raring to go. BOTing right back on into the fray. Are they going to be able to make this work for them, though, is the question. Koikova holding on the back line, looking for the blink, but doesn't feel confident about this position. But even so, spending that 1,800 gold, just a very paltry change for him. He's just going to have to wait out for that 6 minutes to buy back on into it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing that they needed. Like, obviously, the hard counter to the Tinker's shenanigans is a BKB, which came into play there. But here's the thing, like, Tinker should probably buy his own. Like, you buy his own BKB suddenly, what are they going to do about it? Because the big thing is he got sheep there. If he has a BKB, that's not happening. Sure, he can't rearm it, he can't do all that stuff with it, but he just wants, what, 5 seconds worth of invulnerability where he can just blow somebody to pieces. Can jump in, blow somebody to pieces, safely jump out. That's what he wants. Because like we said, like he doesn't, like they don't need, like Mousesports don't need to engage 5v5. They just need a bit of time to pick people off and buy time for elsewhere, for Black to push elsewhere on the map. And of course, if they successfully defend, Tinker can then join him at a moment's notice.
So remember that 26 CS Nature's Prophet at the beginning of the game that seemed to have a little bit of trouble getting started? He's now beaten, because of that buyback, now beaten our President Tinker in net worth. That's some holla holla get Dalin if I've ever seen it. Like, that is just a really impressive showing of how to catch up on CS. 478, not even an hour into the game. Black farming it away, and yeah, he had a rough start. He didn't have much at all up against OD, up against Timbersaw, but he has certainly bounced back. And we talk about Tinker, but Black is the one that is delivering these finishing right clicks here. Crit, Sheep, 8-second BKB, and Orchid. Really, all he needs is BOTs and, I don't even know, MKB, I guess. And
I don't know about finishing right clicks because he's still only sitting on 6. Like, I mean, he's sitting on 6 kills. Like, he's actually not really participating in these fights all that much. He's been mostly focusing on pushing. I think at this point in time, like, Black should probably just, yeah, there we go, sell the Assault, sell the Shadow Blade. It's just not really doing a whole lot for him anymore because there's so many damn gems. Everybody's got dust. He's just not getting a chance to use it. So AC is going to make him more durable for a bit anyway. It's not really going to help a lot against OD because OD just doesn't really care about that at all because he's in play by the rules.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's also going to give him a bigger attack speed boost and most importantly help out his teammates and as well as his pushing power. Absolutely. Now this is where things get kind of dodgy because for Virtus Pro. I like the fact that the smoke is going to provide a nice defense against the Hawk scouting them and allowing them to pick off people because this is their biggest problem. They try and push, the Hawk finds a straggler and then Tinker blows them apart and then runs away before they can do much about it. The fact that OD has a blink dagger is very helpful because as soon as you notice him, he can try and blink to disable the Tinker. Yeah. But if we see a BKB on, no, it's actually, I disagree. Oh man, I really disagree on the Bloodstone, to be honest.
On,
yes,
who?
Tinker.
Tinker.
I really feel like it should have been a BKB. Yes, it gives him plenty of extra mana, lots of mana regen, but his problem here is being disabled and destroyed in 3 seconds by OD. Like, if he gets a sheep off on him, he's going to pull him apart. There's no doubt about it. It's swinging for nearly 500 a hit. OD does not need a lot of time to kill Tinker. See, look how fast Batter's dying. It's just not a chance. He's doing 250 pure damage. Plus his regular damage.
Yeah, I mean, it is ridiculous right-click potential. He can ethereal himself to avoid those right-clicks a little bit, but I definitely see what you're saying. Actually, holy crap, that's a dead Tormented Soul, and now we're going to get the Fiend's Grip to finish off Illident. Holy shit, that damage is so insane. And that's going to be 2 kills. However, there is the Scythe, there is the Infest Snake's Bomb coming on through. Will they be able to finish him off, though? Ethereal Blade on himself. He's going to be able to get on out of this one, I believe. The Blink is up, but he doesn't use it. There's that Infest coming into play. Here's the Song of the Siren, catching out everybody. They're laying the March Machines. And they're going to be able to, I think, finish off everybody. Sheepstick first, on to KSI. Team W will run, but they got the hero they were looking for.
There we go, picks up some more charges there. He's going to grab 3 charges out of that. Going to head bottom there. It's actually a buyback from Illident. Blinks away just in time. His BKB, I believe, is on cooldown. Yes, 20 seconds. Arsad is here to try and help him. They scattered out, but there's own BKB from Black. It looks like Arsad's going to get blown to pieces. No, they're going to stun out. His BKB wears off. Now Black. Black is food. Black is dead. Nightmare, though. Now Illident's in a lot of trouble. It looks like, do we have Roar up? I can't see, actually, I can't actually see what's going on. There's too many heroes packed in tight there.
They already roared.
Like Black is brought back. Black is back as Koikova now. He's only got 900 mana though, but a blink out. We'll see him get to say, oh no it won't. Somebody's dead. I heard somebody die.
Not yet. He's been pursued, but he has popped off his BKB. Do they have enough? Fata jumped on in. He now has his blink again. Just going to axe it, and there's that right click, finishing it off. They do get the kill. They do bring down everybody, and us. Respawning, did he buy back on into it? No, he just regularly respawned because he's only level 18. I say only because we look at 4 heroes being level 25 at this stage of the game. But a big thing there, they were able to pick off Team W with a Roar, and Tigger coming on in and doing his thing. So they're in just such a great position here to bring down the tier 3s very rapidly. 75 seconds on OD, no buyback available. This is what they were looking for, and this is what they're going to get. And as far as what you're talking about, Bloodstone, one thing that I really do like about it, although it doesn't really help his combat potential much, other than his the obvious thing, which is mana, he also has reduced death time, to the point that if he gets enough kills, he respawns instantly without buying back, and that is pretty immense.
That's actually a really good point. So now he's actually racked up, like right now he's probably got what, like a 20-second death time. That's actually a really, really big point. The fact that he can suicide, kill somebody, and then it's okay. So I guess in that respect, actually the Bloodstone is going to work out really well. Not that he had to use it because he was relying on his teams. Fortunately, managed to keep him alive there in that fight. And of course, I think the other big thing is the Ethereal Blade makes him pretty much immune to Lifesteal as long as he can get it off before he gets hexed. If he gets hexed, he's in a lot of trouble because Lifesteal just rip him apart in a second. There we go. Bane gets torn apart there, but at the cost of 2 Raxes.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much going to end it there. As the Roar goes out, KSI is about to die. As no, he gets swapped away. Saved there by Arsad.
Yeah, KSI will come back on into it though. He just gets sheeped up. Axes come on now. Koikova can't finish him off just yet. He's going on the run. KSI still lives with barely any HP. No, he gets finished off by Naga Siren Synderen, delivering the killing blow there. Very important, but Koikova is going to have to try to suicide here. No, he's blinking away with that very brief Song of Siren, and they do get hexes up on a very interesting looking Timbersaw, considering the reactive armor, putting a giant metal plate over his head. Either way, they should be able to finish him off here if they just get a little bit more mana on the Tinker to finish it. Looking for it, but the Blade Mail is active. Spikes everywhere, and they cannot actually finish him off without losing their own life. But fortunately for Tinker, he does TP back to safety, and he is going to heal up back at home, only to BOT back out on the front line. Make sure Illidan is A-okay. Black, oh yes, he's going to survive. There's going to be the Shivas. Black is going to get dropped, but so is OD. And again, no buyback on OD. That's such a painful loss for them. So Team W gets dropped down. Koikova TP's back home, and they should be able to finish this here. In fact, all the racks have already dropped down, so this is going to be it. Good game is called. Made it to 62.5 minutes. An amazing game at Dota. Funnest one so far today. Funnest one of like the past month, in my opinion. This was really, really interesting game.
I just want to say, for the people who were calling me autistic before in the chat for talking about Tinker with a Blink Dagger, Dagon, and an Ethereal Blade, eat your words. Eat it. But no, what the... Yeah, that game, my god, that did not definitely play to any standard match or playbook. But fantastic anyway. So, Blaze, I think we should probably hurry along to the next game because we're probably already behind.
Oh, yeah, I would say so, considering all the delays getting into this match in the first place. Even, yeah, we're going to have to go into Game 3 because of Mouz's victory here. They have to finish up this series here, 1-1 for each side. But whoever advances to the winner's bracket is going to be decided on this next game here. Like I said, I would love to dilly-dally on this game and just break it apart, but no, we have to proceed on forwards. Thanks for tuning on in, guys. A very fun game. Epic Tinker, Timbersaw plays. So much awesome stuff coming out of this one here. If you guys were bored with the current same picks every day, it's just, no. This really is a nice wrench in the works and changes people's perspective quite a bit, I believe. Koikova Tinker, MVP, ending GPM of 658, ending gold of 9,500 while best in slot. Nicely done. Good game, well played. Catch you guys in the next game.